So I think for a month or even more, there was this feeling of expansion. Mm, there was no me, there was just this energy, and now suddenly it came back, and now this is so painful for me again to be this separate entity.
Yeah.
Again, this seeking energy came back, and again I was today I was whole day in this seeking mode, and it exhausted me completely now, and now I feel this tightness in my chest, and it's even hard to breathe. Even every breath is now so hard. And
Yeah.
but before everything was just so light and alive, and the life was just flowing, and I could not imagine that how it was even possible to be ever out of it.
Yeah.
So now, but I don't know how this happens. This energy just goes back like this. And,
Yeah. There's obviously in the body, there's still old stuff that needs to play out. And it's important to get used to the mentality of just looking at what's happening rather than looking at the story of it came back or I'm now back in storyland again. Like it's like a because it's not really true that you were uncontracted and now you're contracted again. It's another story. And it's now
yes,
just
yes.
important to explore the actual sensations that are going on and what's deep inside your body. So do you have a deep sensation today?
Yes, it's here in the chest. There is a pain in my chest.
I
and,
suspect
and I
that was
and I
there.
find it hard to breathe also like
Yeah.
uh,
I suspect that was there in the tiniest little seed when you had that big expansion. That was a tiny little seed, and that contraction
yes, probably yes.
in your heart area is most probably a sense of lack of love. It's like, I'm not good enough and I'm not lovable. But did you go back to your normal way of being?
In this time I came back where I was 10 years ago before I started seeking. So like I was born anew, and I think that all those chakras opened, and so I found myself going after women a lot, and so maybe you're right that it's this feeling of lack of love that was still present, but I could not distinguish whether it is just a physical need or is it this feeling of lack.
Yeah, yeah,
But maybe then I felt it just natural,
yeah. Because
this
you have
need. I don't know.
such big expansion when these expansions happen. It just all feels like love. So it's like it becomes irrelevant. And normally, actually, it's interesting that you said about going after ladies, because normally what happens is there is a huge sexuality that comes after awakening as well. Because
Yes,
because you
I
feel
could
this,
say it was something like yes, in this sense.
because there's so much love that comes up and it kind of just merges into the act, and it's beautiful and divine. And so now there has to just be what was happening before, which is the continued commitment to exploring the experience. And I know it's really uncomfortable and you want it to be the other way, but you have to just keep going into the source of those wants and keep seeing whatever needs to be exposed. This isn't, we want it to just be over like that, to take a pill and it to be over like that, but life's got to do its particular dance, and we don't know why or how it's happening, but the contractions come back. There's something
Yes,
still that needs to be explored.
I feel like I've done something wrong. There was also this feeling that everything is allowed now. So then a few times I went out and I was drinking a bit too much, and so I think it happened after that. Then I even had some panic attacks,
Yeah,
and it happened at my work also now. And
yeah,
so there is a feeling that now in this overwhelming feeling of now everything is allowed, that I went too far, and now that like the God now has punished me, and
yeah,
now and sent me in this contracted state, and this is going to last now for forever. And I have these thoughts associated with
yeah,
this feeling
yeah,
that now it's going to be, because now I was in for 8 years. This was such an agony, this search, um, and today and for the last few days I've been having those same mental modes of
yeah, yeah.
mm,
And you just have to commit. There's to be a commitment to seeing that that's not true, whatever the thoughts are. like hell's presenting itself and seeing that hell is not true. That these panics,
Yes.
these fears, these contractions really aren't reality.
So now I should just stay with the physical
You
feelings.
can go back to the feeling, and also you can rest in the present moment as well if you can. But when these feelings are really strong, then you tend to get sucked into thought patterns and time. And then at the same time, seeing that the person that's either resting in the present moment or becoming aware of those feelings actually can't rest in the present moment or feel the feelings because it doesn't actually exist. There's something beyond and bigger than that. But while you feel separate, there has to be an acknowledgement of that. And it will seek, whether it seeks in women, whether it seeks in drugs, whether it seeks in panic attacks, it will seek that person while it feels like it's there. That's what it does, it seeks. So I can say, do these two things, and then more than
So
likely there will be.
yes, whatever I do it now, it seems wrong because uh, when there is this idea of doing something, it's already from the ego.
Yeah,
Because before I would just any time in the day I would just stop and I would just drop everything, let everything go, and there was just everything, and it was so simple, and the life was everything was completely ordinary, and it was the same as before. But at the same time, it was completely. If I look at the glass or any object, and it's so magnificent, it was so.
yeah,
But
yeah. Yeah, I would
okay, I
just,
think
yeah,
it's not completely. I think it's not completely. It's now just a bit obscure. Than
yeah. But I
I
wouldn't
thought.
even
It's
get into too much of what it was. Just come back to what's actually happening and forget about that. Just come back to
yes.
this actual experience. Yeah,
So I just have to stay with those
yeah, I know.
feelings.
I know the person's like, but it's, we don't know why or what's happening. It's just got to happen.
Mm.
And nothing that your mind tells about it has any truth at all.
Yes, maybe I could try now to close my eyes and
Yeah.
I don't know.
So this is what's happening. I suspect what happened when you had that massive opening, there was still this energy seeking, but it was really high. It just felt very pleasurable, I'm sure. But that's okay. You didn't do anything wrong. Now there just has to be a commitment to what's appearing now. And if this is hell, so this is the opposite to the other one, then just let that happen. Just let that happen.
Yes. Now it seems a bit relieved, this
Yeah. Yeah, you just got
pain.
to give yourself some time in the day to sit with it again.
Mm. Yes.
And are you now working full time?
Yes, I work on this again. Work in this hospital. It's not so stressful as before. Now it's more. I find like a perfect job now. It's near the lake, this hospital, and all the people are so nice, and
No.
mm, so it was all miraculous how I found this perfect balance, even with these practical things.
Yeah.
Before there was always sense of guilt if I'm working or doing something. I should be in this spiritual search. But
But it's in that moment of, when you're being a doctor and when you're speaking with people, it's in it all.
yes, I manage sometimes when I work with patients. I just have there are a lot of 20 patients, and I just try to do it as fast as possible. but then I just stop and then pay attention to every word, and
Yeah.
then there's this feeling that this what I speak is not that I'm speaking, but just these words are coming out, and
Yeah.
when I write, it's like this hand is, and everything gets so yes, so mm, it's possible to.
Nice. Well, lovely speaking to you and seeing you again.
Yes, it's also nice to see you.
Yeah. Thanks, Sash.
So.
Thanks. Bye.